Hi everyone, it's Friday, December 6th, 1:36 p.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. Happy Friday. Very interesting day. Non-farm payrolls, all right. Better than expected, much better than expected. Really, actually, a very strong number overall. It's not one of these. All right, so the number is 180 expected, 203 actual. Unemployment rate 7.2 expected, 7% actual. All right, so we saw the unemployment rate tick down 2%. Lately, that's been because of lower participation in the labor force. That's still a concern, but really the participation level in this report was pretty decent. Overall, very strong numbers. All right, there's not a big red herring going on. These seem to be genuinely decent numbers. And we initially saw some very decided U.S. dollar strength, which was quickly faded all the way across the board, except for against the yen. I let's look at the risk disclaimer and then go to the charts and we'll start talking about it. So please take a moment, pause the recording, look at the risk disclaimer, which should now be on your screen. All right, so this is euro yen. Let's go to dollar yen first. We'll get back to euro yen. I have a setup there. So you can see dollar yen squeezed higher here after coming out of its wedge last night. If you were really brave, I mean, you did get a great 4-hour breakout trade followed by a launch off of this 50-period EMA. I was not brave. I don't like to trade dollar yen before NFPs, but that was a very clean setup that worked out really well. All right, so you can see the dollar squeeze higher. The dollar actually started rocking against the yen even before the number was out. So I don't know if people were front running or we had a leak, but you can then see on euro dollar. All right, this is a weird candle here. This is a classic NFP movement. Okay, real strong move down towards about 136.25. Then this support level absorbed it, and we moved higher. We're now at 136.92, so we're about 70 or so pips off the low. Aussie, even more impressive. Okay, here on Aussie, we dipped down all the way below 90. We're now at 90.91. We touched a high above 91. So 100 pip round trip. Aussie's trying to break out here. I've been talking about this. We had some significant RSI divergence going on here. We touched a 1618 expansion. All right, we started to push higher. This is actually a picture-perfect touch on that spike down. Trying to push higher, need to get above this 91.26. It's holding this trend line on first test. Looking for, this is misdrawn, looking for maybe 92, 93 in that area to start reselling, but for right now I'm going to kind of keep an eye on this and see if it can continue to squeeze higher. Kiwi testing its trendline resistance. Watch this for a breakout next week. Pound dollar, I actually have not looked at pound dollar. This is starting to look pretty convincingly like a bull flag of some sort. Okay, so just watch it for a potential breakout here. Generally, dollar looks pretty bearish across the board, okay? Euro broke that range. Looks like it may be heading up towards that 138 level for a potential test of the previous highs. The dollar index broke down out of its wedge-type, pennant-type formation. I don't know. The dollar doesn't look great technically. Now, from a fundamental perspective, obviously today's data should have been very positive. USD, as we think that the December taper is really in the conversation. Most economists are willing to put a number on it, say 50-50. So maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I think all that means to me is that we're going to have extensive volatility surrounding the release December 17th, so I'm not particularly interested in having any positions that week, or at least that Wednesday, and probably not for a couple days after either, at least not in dollar pairs. Speaking of non-dollar pairs, Euro pound, okay, this is chart of the day, daily effects guys commentary, looking for a long in this area here. It's working out pretty well. First target 84.17, second target 84.60. Those are some major fib levels. At this point, really, you could, if you did manage to get in, depending where you got in from, you could trail your stops to break even, or even at least 83.40 or so, and then forget about this potential entry and hope that this one runs. So you can find that on Daily Effects or on my Twitter page for the full breakdown, but worth keeping an eye on Euro Pound here, eliminate some of the dollar shenanigans. Quick euro yen. Before we continue, one other thing that should be noted. PCE price index. All right, that's another inflation gauge that the Fed tends to like. More soft inflation numbers. All right, we're just not getting any inflation, which generally people are like, that's a good thing, which is true, but you want a stable amount of inflation, and it's very close to being deflationary here in the US. It's a problem that's all around the world, and it's very concerning that we're seeing potential deflation in the US when we have the Fed printing all the money that they're printing. All right, so it's a little bit concerning. That is the major argument I think that will be made in the December Fed meeting to not taper. Okay, the argument's going to be that why taper now? We don't have a major inflation problem. Let's wait a month and see if the labor market is actually stable. I think it was Evans today talking about how he doesn't believe that this job growth is sustainable. I mean, it's been pretty decent lately, the job growth. So I don't think I really believe that Evans that it's not necessarily sustainable. I mean, we had disappointing last couple months. That's true, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. First time we're over 200,000 in a while, so maybe one more month we'll see if we can confirm with another 200,000 print. We'll see what that unemployment rate does as well. So lots to think about here. Very interesting reaction. You can see actually, we'll get to euro yen in a second. You can see gold, all right, spiked lower initially and then traded higher, kind of the inverse of what the dollar does. Same thing with bonds. 10-year spiked lower, rallied higher, so that means yields higher than lower. And 30-year, exact same thing, all right. So weird action today. I'm way more interested in seeing what we do all of next week. As the market processes this job report, less concerned about what exactly specifically happened today. Tough to judge one day's price action. So, last to the setup that I have on euro yen. RSI divergence here, approaching a 1618 fib extension. Okay, that's at 141.76. I would like to fade this move at 141.76. I would like us to get there early next week. We're at 140.90. Sorry, right now we're at 140.90. It's about 80 pips higher. It's not that much to ask, all right, for this pair to just squeeze a little bit up into that level. So we'll see how that pans out. Keeping my eye definitely on that. Dollar yen is off my radar for a while. CAD yen is actually at a pretty nice shorting area here. Dollar CAD, I view any dips on dollar CAD as a buying opportunity. Canadian employment was slightly better than expected today as well. Pound CAD, again, looks like it's consolidating for another move higher. Euro Kiwi had some interesting moves today. Spiked higher, reversed hard lower. Major support comes in. I've been looking for this to take off. It took off twice and came back hard each time. So hopefully, if you did get long, you managed to at least get out for break even. You had a couple hundred. You had like 130 pips warning each time. We're down off below this one trend line here. Major support is about 164.70. So I'd be keeping my eye on that for a possible Euro Kiwi long. And then Euro Aussie. Okay, major sort of ugly wick here at 151.61. If we look at the daily chart on Euro Aussie. Okay, there's still none of these candles have been convincingly bearish yet. If we see a close at like 150 or lower, that would be convincingly bearish to me. But up until then, I'm kind of just waiting to see exactly what this pair wants to do. So that's what I'm looking at in general. Have to be really kind of looking for dollar shorts next week. But with a good deal of caution, as we'll see if this jobs move turns out to be some sort of false breakdown for the dollar. Could see a very strong rally next week if that turns out to be the case. Looking for basically 138 on euro to try to sell again. We'll kind of see how that plays out. All right, so that's what I'm looking at here for next week. That's what we had going on this week. Very eventful week, and we'll see what next week brings. So enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks for listening, and I will be talking to you soon.